A young lady called Guo Jing has a harsh awakening in her relationship in the first scene of the film. The guy she was seeing informs her that he never truly thought of her as a girlfriend. In fact, he remembers well the day he discovered Guo was not beautiful at all and compares her face to that of a car accident. She is very self-conscious about her looks as a result of this violent split. Guo regrettably finds that when she goes job hunting, her fears become even more entrenched. Her uninteresting and lifeless face fails to draw in employers. Several agencies refuse to even offer her an application form, citing her lack of physical attractiveness and her frustration at being passed over for her ooks, despite the fact that she is an honors student studying Chinese literature. In the end, Guo chooses to get surgery on both of her eyelids to increase her beauty. An eyelid crease is created during the surgery, giving the almond-shaped eye a bigger, more symmetrical appearance. Although the procedure is very widespread in China and Korea, Guo, a recent graduate, cannot afford it. As a result, she resolves to pursue whatever job she can find in order to pay for her double eyelid surgery. Eventually, she is employed by a maternity clinic that provides a wide range of services, including egg donation and surrogacy. Any volunteer who is engaged by the customers receives 7,000 yen from the clinic. Unfortunately, no customer chooses Guo after 25 screenings, which leaves her broke and uneasy. A few days later, Guo finds out that the student with the highest percent at her institution was discovered to have cheated on the examinations. As a result, the scholarship award was taken away from the student and awarded to Guo, who was next in line. She now has 3,000 yen in total as a result. Fortunately, this amount of money will cover her double eyelid surgery with reputable physician doctor. Kim. Fortunately, our heroine's operation goes well, and her eyes now have a more lovely and larger appearance. But she also gets an invitation to an interview with Dang Group, one of the biggest international businesses in China. Leading South Korean firm Dang takes great care in its screening process. During the first interview phase, the applicants undergo strenuous physical examinations and teamwork exercises. Guo worries that she would be kicked out of the interview if it becomes apparent that she has surgical scars. Plastic surgery is frowned upon in South Korea, where people are quite stringent about it, particularly the older age. Guo, nevertheless, advances to the last stage when she and 4 other contenders face direct questions from the board of directors. She captures the admiration of one of Dun's directors in a face-to-face interview. The candid director Raymond appreciates Guo's unique viewpoint and her humility in acknowledging her lack of knowledge. This is sufficient to get her a position at the esteemed organization. Unfortunately, Guo receives another reality check on her first day at work. Everyone is given a strong warning by the head secretary that they will be held to a high aesthetic standard. In addition, seating is assigned based on appearance. The CEO's office is closest to the most beautiful staff, like Guo, while the least handsome employees are further away. In the meanwhile, Raymond asks Guo for advice on a planned advertising campaign for the business. She continues attempting to keep her distance from Raymond in order to hide her surgical scars, which makes their discussion unpleasant, but she also shows off her fluency in Chinese by coming up with a clever slogan for the advertising campaign. A few days later, Guo sees Raymond leaving a dubious-looking store on the corner. She discovers the place is an adult store when she walks in after he left. The proprietor attests that Raymond just purchased a large stack of pornographic DVDs. It is discovered that Raymond is a womanizer who makes advances on a number of attractive co-workers. Guo is a little discouraged by this, but she doesn't take it too seriously. After a few months, Guo finds nothing easy about her job at Dong. She finds that the chief secretary has no chemistry with her co-workers, which makes work even more unpleasant, and that she is preoccupied with writing emails for the simplest of things, which continuously increases her burden. In order to foster a sense of camaraderie, the corporation also hosts Taekwondo sessions, although the more senior staff members make fun of the less attractive staff members during these events. This strengthens Guo's belief that physical attractiveness is the sole path to advancement in the firm. She was made to go to the office and put all the files in alphabetical order by the chief secretary that weekend. Raymond happens to be at the office as well, and he observes Guo at work. He walks over to her, introduces himself, and inquires as to if she is single. Then, in jest, Raymond requests to view a picture of her partner. Then, a stunning lady interrupts them, telling Raymond to hurry up since they had lunch together. It is subsequently revealed that Guo has begun to feel something for Raymond, but she is discouraged to witness him making out with other attractive ladies all the time. After a few days, Dong's staff members prepare for the yearly Spring Ball Festival celebration, revealing her erotic side to Raymond. Guo makes herself put on a form-fitting sleek dress, but she can't move during the party because to it and sits by herself in a corner. She eventually realizes that a number of her male co-workers are ogling the attractive women attending the party. Even Zia, an ordinary-looking female employee, draws a lot of attention due to her skimpy attire that exposes her breast. Guo is led to believe that having enormous breasts is a must for a woman to be beautiful. Following the celebration, Raymond is left alone with Guo once again. He remarks on how simple she is and tidily says that if she hadn't been dating, he would have gone after her. Guo is encouraged by this, but she returns to Dr. Kim's clinic since she has seen personally how beautiful people are treated well there. When she consults him about having a reconstruction of her nose and jaw, he gives her the go-ahead but notes that the treatment would be expensive, something she does not have at this time. Later on at work, Guo has a conversation with Monica, a senior executive, and gains some insightful style advice. Then, when her desk gets moved closer to the CEO's office, she starts dressing smartly, which only serves to enhance her overall attractiveness. She had thought that all of her hard work on her looks would pay off. A few weeks later, the workers receive a few days off for the spring festival, but Guo keeps working through these breaks to save up enough cash for the operation to restore his nose and jaw. She begins showing guests around a number of Beijing flats one day after accepting a temporary position as a retail agent. Desperate to earn a commission from the apartment's sale, she forces an elderly couple to see one of the units. She turns to lying. Gu is stunned when the elderly couple brings their young son to see the house, even though she informs them that there is almost no down payment needed and that the rent in the neighborhood is very costly. Her supervisor, Raymond, is humiliated by the couple's youngster. She instantly acknowledges that she has been exaggerating the apartment's benefits. Then she begs Raymond not to punish her for surprising her by lying. He cuts her off right away and offers to go on a date to a concert. Taken aback by the proposal, Guo stammered a little before accepting. The next scene shows Guo gathering all of her money and having surgery with Dr. Kim to rebuild her jaw and nose. She needs the remainder of the Spring Festival break to recuperate after the procedure. She is eventually astounded by the procedure's outcome. Guo is thrilled with the result and thinks she looks better than she did before. Unfortunately, Raymond notifies Guo that the concert has been canceled on the day of the scheduled performance. In an attempt to make sure her efforts are not in vain, she invites him to dinner, and he graciously accepts. Guo and Raymond get together at a fancy restaurant that evening. She purposefully chooses a seat with low lighting to avoid standing out as being really different from Raymond. It becomes apparent from their talk that Raymond is single at the moment, but he does have informal ties with a number of women. To Guo's dismay, he then confesses that he ended things with his previous girlfriend 2 years before. Their separation resulted from Raymond's ex-girlfriend lying to him about having many cosmetic procedures. He began to despise anybody who had such surgery done in order to improve their physical look after that occurrence. Guo is left dumbfounded by this news and subsequently spends the remainder of the supper hidden in the poorly lit seat. She makes the decision to tell Raymond about all of her procedures the next day as she heads back home, But all of Guo's resolution evaporates when she gets to the workplace the next day. Raymond gives her a lavish present as her co-workers ogle her attractiveness. She deceives everyone by saying that her new skincare products have made her seem more attractive. Furthermore, the chief secretary informs her that, while the ugly workers are assigned to laborious jobs, the attractive staff are chosen to go on opulent business trips. Hearing this, Guo decides to continue lying for the time being. A few days later, Raymond and Guo go on a business trip to the city of Qi in southern China. There, after a fight with a taxi driver, the two take a camel ride to their hotel. The duo slowly starts getting closer to each other, and Raymond even thinks about being intimate with her. Unfortunately, Guo slips in the bathroom and hits her chin on the tub. This dislodges the implants on her jaw and makes her look incredibly hideous. Scared, she calls Dr. Kim on the phone, only to learn that he's on vacation to Switzerland with no other options left. She makes an excuse to Raymond and runs away from the hotel, leaving him confused once back in Beijing. Guo quickly rushes to Dr. Kim's hospital, where another senior surgeon operates on her jaw. After the procedure is done, the surgeon tells her about a new product in the market named no bra implants. These silicone implants fear up and enlarge breasts, giving them a more voluptuous look. Although Guo is initially reluctant, she eventually agrees when the surgeon tells her that the implants would be done for free, as she would be the first patient to get them. Soon afterwards, she undergo breast augmentation surgery, too. In the meantime, at work, senior executive. Despite Monica's stellar performance throughout the year, she is not given a promotion by the CEO, who also reveals that she lied to the company during the interview about not being married. Furthermore, Monica has a baby, which violates the company's no pregnancy policy. Nevertheless, the CEO chooses not to fire Monica and declines to give her a promotion. After seeing this occurrence, Guo, who has recovered from her surgery and is back at work, feels even more pressure to conceal all of her cosmetic surgery because she fears losing her career if the truth is discovered at that precise moment. She is approached by Raymond, who extends an invitation for supper that evening at his home. She looks stunning as she gets to Raymond's place. After a brief talk, the couple immediately makes love in bed. Guo's pleasure, however, ends suddenly. The facility where she had her procedures uploaded a video the next morning discussing the new no-brain implants and the impact they may have on a woman's look. The model's face is blurry in the footage, but everyone in the office knows that it looks afraid and humiliated. Without giving a reason, she leaves Raymond's home and takes a cab to her village. Guo, however, gains some little renown in her hamlet due to her attractiveness. Local people line up in front of her father's noodle shop just to get a glimpse of her. After a few days, Guo's local celebrity status lands her an interview at a marketing company. Once again, she uses her intellect and honesty to win over the directors and gets a call up for the final round. This makes Guo realize that it was not her beauty, but her frankness that attracted Raymond to her. Hence, she goes back to Dong in Beijing to resign and have a final conversation with Raymond upon meeting him. She admits her mistakes and asks Raymond if he would have dated her had she not been physically attractive without hesitation. He replies that he wouldn't have done so. This leaves our poor heroine heartbroken, so she resigns and leaves the company for good. A few days pass, and both Raymond and Guo try to move on with their lives. However, both of them find it difficult to forget each other during the shoot of a commercial for Dong. Raymond remembers how Guo had brilliantly come up with a tagline for the ad campaign. He remembers how smart, frank, and simple she was, realizing that he may not meet anyone like her again. He immediately texts Guo and asks her to meet him as soon as possible. He then rushes towards her new workplace. On the other hand, Guo misunderstands Raymond's message and thinks that he wants to completely break up with her, traumatized by her last relationship. She doesn't want to go through the humiliation of a breakup once more. Hence, she runs away from her work, as she knows Raymond will soon arrive there to meet her. But before she can flee, Raymond catches her on the streets. He begs her to stop and listen to him panicked. Guo runs to cross the road to escape him, but just as a vehicle is about to hit her, she is trapped in the center of oncoming traffic. Raymond pulls her away, but in an unfortunate turn of events, he hurts himself, breaking his face. After that, Raymond is brought to Dr. Kim's medical facility, where the renowned surgeon reconstructs his face. His restored face looks much superior than his original one because to his new jawline and thin nose. A brief summary of what will happen in the future is shown in the movie's last scene. After getting married and having a child, Guo and Raymond are concerned that their son may one day wonder why he doesn't look like either of them.